Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Africa. And good morning to the whole world. Welcome to another episode of Newspaper Review on Black TV at our favorite stand, Ojaya stand, Oju Elegba. You know how it's been done. You know how we do them. Get a cup of coffee. Let me get my paper. I will be right back. Welcome back, guys. Thank you for staying tuned. So the very first paper we are starting off today is Daily Sun. Our first paper for today is Daily Sun, and the very first headline says COVID-19 will make 96 million Nigerians extremely poor by 2022, World Bank. Buhari faces lawsuit over $22.7 billion loan. Ajumobi's widow slams Makinde deputy for lack of empathy. Intervention for aviation industry, not cash, FD. Ondo Assembly may impeach deputy gov this week. Our second paper for today is Vanguard. And the very first headline says, fresh threat as FD Siemens take conflicting position. Wike blast Amechi over groups threat to destroy rivers. COVID-19, 74.2 businesses no longer operating. NEC. Ohana is a crack. Splinter groups emerge. NERC silence won't stop implementation. July 1st, Disco. 10 soldiers, 20 Boko Haram terrorists killed in Borno fight. That's all we have on Vanguard newspaper. Let me get my reviewer. I will be right back. Please stay tuned.
It's expected.
Okay.
It's expected in the sense that the way COVID-19 hit the world, it really hit it hard. And at source, it caused a lot of damage. But you see, all over the world, some level of poverty is expected. And people that has vision, people that has leadership quality, they are trying to curtail all these occurrences to happen. And that is why this kind of prediction is not coming forth, or maybe going to some part of the world, like some advanced countries. And it's expected that third world countries like Nigeria, my brother, we are not giants. Yes, let me just make throw a little light on that. 1960, we are talking about 60 years or above. No proper democracy. You understand? In fact, the way we took over from the British government, it was even better off then than what we are seeing today. So I will not call it giant. You can only call something giant when something is progressing, when a nation is progressing, when a nation has the capacity to overshadow some part their neighbors in the international community, or in West Africa as Nigeria may be. So that is just the situation. That is why I will not call it a giant. And going back to the issue of almost 100 million people going out of jobs, or maybe going through extreme poverty. Yes, it is expected, and they are saying this for us to buckle up. This is the time to cut down cost of governance. Over the years, we have been saying that the system of government we are operating in this part of the world is too expensive. Yes, it's too expensive. We call it a federal system, but to me, I don't know where they get this kind of federal system of government. I will call it a quasi-federal system of government. So it is time to cut short some expenses. The money the senators and the National Assembly members are earning is too much. And this is the cry of some Nigerians, that this money is too much. It is time to bring down this money so that we can be able to reduce the cost of governance in Nigeria in order to accommodate some other infrastructures that's supposed to put in place. So COVID-19 has exposed the country that the government has nothing to offer, that the government has no vision, that the government has no specific ideology to govern us. So it is the time now that this about 100 million people are going in extreme poverty. This is the time to reduce taxation. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but the moment you bring down the cost of governance, the expenditure of governance, you can now use it to balance the ones that you are going to lose from the tax you are going to reduce. And in other words, this is the time to give bailout to some industries so that the level of dropping of workforce in various industries will reduce. This is the time to address the issue of medium skills business so that people will be able to pick themselves up from the pieces of the epidemic of coronavirus. So if the government fail to do all this, even the 1 million people that they are talking about, or it might even more than that.
I don't tell you, say that one is politics. Wike and Amaechi is same tight friend, sisters. But anybody want to come to Godfather and the capital? Are you getting me? Say it's my group. You go high more than you. Are you getting me? That's the only thing. Anybody is fighting for your pocket. Any place where the market is move, be APC or PDP, our core party, my people go there. Where that place is the road is blocked. That's the only thing I'm saying about the Wike and the only problem of this country, this Buhari. I don't tell people it's 2015, but I know because if they read history, you go know the character of this. Buhari come to Nigeria to Fulani agenda. He said Buhari no be Fulani agenda. The money where I remember 2016 when the IMF want to borrow Nigeria money, he said may IMF focus north. Because of northeast, something is spoiled there. Then most of the leader of Yoruba, leader of Igbo say why only north is Nigeria. Why want to our money low? He may focus north. Why? That is something is there. Are you getting me? Then 2017 money of Abasa $332 million. He enter around November. Adeosun journalists ask Adeosun where part of Abasa money say he never remit the money. Malamu, Minister of Justice, he pick money, he delay money till the 2018 March. When they come remit the money for Adeosun, Malamu he fighting with Adeosun say 2 lawyers fighting for that money. Adeosun say only 1 lawyer is fighting for that money. The money of 1 lawyer go pay. That by dragging it happen like that. Then the only thing I'm saying, when you compare the money to our Nigerian money, Buhari say he go share the money for 70 states for the whole Nigeria. Say 30% go to north, 4% share on to southwest, southeast, south. People say, oh, it's not like that. Say Abasa money, the money is all over the Nigeria. You have to share the money throughout of the Nigeria. That's the only thing.
Yes, I understand quite well. Yeah, they use it to they refer to the name Buhari because Buhari is the head of governance in Nigeria. And when it comes to the issue of money, the president always either take the blame or take the glory. So that is what is happening. And concerning the lawsuit that is facing, you see, now we are talking of some group in Nigeria called IPOB. IPOB are now saying that, see, if you cannot welcome us, or if you don't want us to get the sense of belonging in government, or if you don't want us to see ourselves as part of Nigeria, that means you are telling us that we are not part of you, and we don't have choice than to stay away from you. That is the issue that is going on concerning IPOB and Biafra. These are the things that are triggering all this movement. You are borrowing money, and you purposely, intentionally taking some part of the country out of out of the budget of the money you are going to borrow. What are you telling those people? That you are not important to us, that you are not part of us, that you are not needed, that you are not welcome, that there is no significant impact you can impact into the land. So that is why these groups are now saying that, okay, if we are not going to benefit from this money, you cannot collect this money. So government that is supposed to address issues that is facing the country are still some set of leaders that are creating issues that will affect the nation. Makinde as a person, no matter what happened, no matter the lie that was carried out or was perpetrated, so when somebody died, the person is dead, and you don't have to hold any grudge against that person, irrespective of what happened. So I expected that the moment they announced the dead and they said they want to bury the corpse, you should go ahead and give them the necessary permission to do that. As a matter of fact, Ajimobi deserves a befitting burial. I, for one, will say that Makinde, the role he played in that burial is supposed to have made the burial to be more lively than this. As an ex-governor, he deserves some respect. I don't want to know what he might have done wrong to the state, but to be a governor of an ex-governor of the state, he deserves some respect, and he's supposed to address the issue positively, not but negatively like this, that a kind of rumor is going against him. They are good friends. Yes. And before friend, they were enemies. Okay. Before friend, in the school days, these are two leaders from different groups. And in the school days, they were not that close. But after the school days, okay, you are a boss in your group, I'm a boss in my group. You are stronger. I know you, you know me. Let us be friends. That is how they become friends. So they try to form friendship out of enemy, and then come to the issue of governance in River State, Amaechi and Wike Chief of Staff. Yes. So they were in the good term, but this issue of selfishness, you see, political buccaneers in Nigeria, political desperados. These are people that are creating issues out of nothing. Amaechi as a person feels that I'm an ex-governor. I want to bring it into power. You must obey me, or you work under me. You must obey me. If Amaechi is doing like that, what would have Odili would say? He is the first governor, but now he's playing a back role. It doesn't come to the scene and started making noise as others governors are making noise. Why can't Amaechi also do the same? You rule for 8 years. You're supposed to have allowed anybody that is coming to power to come and rule his terms and go. You see, now his group are threatening to destroy River State. Who are the people in the River State? Who are the people that Amaechi has in the River State to destroy River State? In fact, River State as a state is one of the states that has so many ethnic groups, different dialects, more than any other state in Nigeria. So if Amaechi that has his group group around Ikwere, Klein, and they are threatening to destroy River State, what would they say about the Jaws in the River State? What would they say about the Calabaris, the Ogonis and whatever? Yes, the other groups. These are statements that incite so negatively, that cause problem. Though we can make some statement that even though he's trying to paint himself as a good person, that is not he doesn't like a crime. Yes. He's telling the people, I overheard him when there's some groups interviewing him, that he doesn't like trouble, that if you foment any trouble in River State, it will not come for you. After you might have caused a lot of damage in the state. So I am saying today that Amaechi and Wike should look for a way to come together, for peace to reign in the River State. It's very, very important, because the way they are going by it, after Wike, this thing will still continue. And all these things are things that is affecting development in the state. If it continue like this, if not because of Wike being a strong person, Amaechi would have frustrated him for these 8 years. In fact, he might not even come back for this second time that he just entered. Things are not supposed to be so. You are from the same state. Why are you frustrating one another to delay development and to frustrate that person governance? It is not good. So they should look for a way to amend themselves and come together to form a synergy to make the state forward.
Thank you for staying tuned. I'm very sure you enjoyed this episode. You can join us here live at Ojuelegba Underbridge or Jaya Stand. Please follow us on all our social media handles at Black TV, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Drop your comments. Let's know your take. Let's hear your review by dropping your comments. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Black TV, BLACQ. Till I come your way on Friday, have a wonderful week ahead. Thank you.